The Abduction of Helen. Once, long ago in Sparta, there lived Helen, daughter of Zeus and Leda. Some say she was born from an egg, for Zeus had taken the form of a swan to lie with her mother. Others said she was mortal through and through, but all agreed that she was the most beautiful woman in the world, and that such beauty could only spell trouble. From childhood, Helen was coveted. When she was still young, the hero Theseus had abducted her for himself, spiriting her away before she was rescued by her brothers Castor and Pollux. That should have been warning enough. Helen was never simply Helen. She was a prize, a symbol, a possession. By the time she came of age, her fame had spread across Greece. Kings, princes, and warriors all came to Sparta to win her hand. The palace filled with men sharper than blades, each one insisting he alone was worthy. Their rivalry grew so fierce that bloodshed seemed inevitable. Her stepfather, Tyndareus, feared civil war. He could not choose one suitor without offending the rest, so he turned to Odysseus. Her stepfather, King Tyndareus, feared civil war. He could not choose one suitor without offending the rest, so he turned to Odysseus, slyest of men, who offered one solution. Have them swear an oath, Odysseus advised, that no matter who wins Helen, all the others must defend him and his marriage. Bind them together with loyalty before you set her free. So it was done. Each suitor swore, hand upon the altar, that if any man tried to take Helen away, they would rise together to defend her husband. Only then did Helen make her choice. She chose Menelaus, brother of Agamemnon, and became Queen of Sparta. For a time there was peace. Menelaus adored her, and the people rejoiced to see so fair a queen. But the gods had not finished with Helen. Far to the east in Troy lived Paris, son of King Priam. Once, when he was asked to judge which goddess was fairest, he had been visited by Hera, Athena, and Aphrodite. Hera promised him kingship, Athena promised him victory in war, and Aphrodite promised him the love of the most beautiful woman in the world. Paris gave the apple to Aphrodite, and she never forgot her bargain. When Paris traveled to Sparta as a guest of Menelaus, Aphrodite stirred Helen's heart. Some say the goddess clouded her judgment, that Helen followed Paris under enchantment. Others say Paris stole her away by force, taking her while Menelaus was absent from the palace. The poets do not agree, and perhaps that is the point. Helen's voice is lost in the telling. But the scene is remembered. One evening, as the sun fell over the palace, Helen stood upon the balcony. Paris approached her. His words were soft yet urgent. "Why do you waste your beauty here?" he said, "bound to a husband who leaves you for councils and wars? You were born for more than Sparta's narrow halls. Come with me to Troy. There you will be worshipped as a goddess, not hidden as a wife." Helen's heart trembled. "Do you not see what you ask?" she whispered. "I am queen here. I am wife. To go with you is to betray my people, my house, my name." Paris smiled, the smile of someone who believes destiny is already written. "You are fated for me, Helen. The gods themselves have said it. Your beauty was not given to wither here. Come and let the world follow us." Perhaps she loved him. Perhaps she feared him. Perhaps Aphrodite's hand pressed her forward. In the end, Helen left with Paris. When Menelaus returned and found the palace empty, his fury was boundless. He cried to the suitors who had sworn their oath, "You gave your word to defend my marriage. Will you now let Troy steal what is mine?" And so the kings of Greece gathered: Agamemnon of Mycenae, Odysseus of Ithaca, Achilles of Phthia, Ajax of Salamis. They launched 1,000 ships across the sea, not for Helen herself, but for the honor that had been wounded, for the oath they had bound themselves to. In Troy, Helen was received not as a prisoner, but as a queen. Priam, old and gentle, welcomed her, though some of his people muttered darkly. Andromache, wife of Hector, turned away in bitterness. "It is for her we will bleed," she said. "For her our sons will die." Even within the palace walls, Helen stood at the center of love and hatred alike. Did she regret her choice? Some said she walked the walls of Troy with tears upon her cheeks, speaking softly of her homeland, her brothers, her child she left behind. Others claimed she never looked back, content in Paris's arms. In truth, myth leaves her suspended, blamed, pitied, desired, despised all at once. The war that followed lasted 10 long years. Heroes fell, cities burned, prophecies played out. And through it all, Helen endured as a prize too valuable to destroy, too dangerous to ignore. When Troy finally burned, Menelaus came to claim her. Some expected him to strike her down for all the lives lost, but when she stood before him, her beauty undimmed, his rage melted. The sword slipped from his hand. He led her back to Sparta, and the Greeks sailed homeward over seas red with memory. And so Helen's story was never simply her own. She was less a woman than a mirror for the desires and wars of men, a flame that burned not by her choice, but by theirs. Enjoyed the story? Then tap like, hit subscribe, and join us again for more wonders from the world's oldest tales.